Hi, welcome back to another one of Robert Ochoa's Top 10. Now, unfortunately, it's that time of year again where The Walking Dead is going to be over. The season finale, I think, is only 2 weeks away. And, hey, man, that's pretty crazy because I love that show and I wish they could show it all year round. Well, I got a special guest with me today. My special guest is Maggie. This is the newest member to our family. Named after Maggie from the show, of course, and also named after Maggie from Maggie Bond, because this dog stared at me for at least an hour straight when she first came home. Say hi, Maggie. So today we're doing something special. Since Walking Dead is coming to an end, I figured let's do the top 10 zombie movies that I have. Now, I know I'm a big horror fan, and I don't have a lot of zombie movies. In fact, I kind of had to dig around for them. But there's some zombie movies that I have that are pretty cool and that are out of the ordinary. We'll start with Versus. Now, this is actually a Japanese action film. It's very cool. It's very exciting. It's cheesy, but it makes fun of itself. But there is an awesome scene where all these dead Yakuzas come up from burials and they just start shooting them like crazy. Awesome zombie scene. Not really a zombie movie. This is more about guys fighting against each other, trying to get to another dimension, and of course at the Forest of Resurrection. But the zombie scene in here is pretty cool, and some of them die and come back more powerful than before. So I don't know, maybe it is a zombie movie, but it doesn't really feel like one. Like I said, it's more action. Going with that, we have Troma's very famous Redneck Zombies. Now, for a long time, I wanted this film because it is a Troma classic, and Troma always promotes this film. Finally, I picked it up. I gotta say, I was a little bit disappointed. It's not exactly the zombie film you think it is. You would think with the title of Redneck Zombies, there'd be a lot of killing, a lot of gore, a lot of blood, which there is some, but not a lot. The story is extremely goofy, and, you know, honestly, it looks like some guy just told his friends, hey, you guys want to make a movie in my backyard? They all say, sure. Production value is not that great. Special effects aren't that great. But you want to know something? It's a Troma film. And it's a Troma classic film. And even though it's not the best zombie movie in the world or the best Troma film in the world, it fits in right with the others. So, honestly, only hardcore Troma fans or hardcore zombie fans would want to pick this one up. Next, we have Attack Girl Swim Team versus the Undead. For those of you who like the sexy scenes in The Walking Dead, you should pick this movie up. This movie is more about having sex than it is about, you know, killing zombies. This is a really soft, pornographic movie. There's lesbian scenes, there's rapes, there's all this other stuff going on, and you would think a bunch of high school girls in the swim team killing zombies would be a cool movie. There's not even that many zombies. And the zombie makeup is they just kind of paint their faces green and put polka dots on them. It's okay. It's alright. It's not that great. I wouldn't call this a zombie film. I'd call this porn at best. But still, it's pretty cool in some parts and really cheesy in others. But if you pick this one up, then you have to pick up a sequel. Yeah, it had a sequel. That is Zombie Hunter Rika. This is actually the better movie. This is pretty cool. It's about this girl who ditches school with her best friend to go visit her grandfather, who's this amazing scientist. And then when they actually show up there, the town is being overrun by zombies. So she has to, you know, start killing zombies in order to survive. Most randomest scene ever. I don't know if this really happens in Japan, but the grandfather's maids go up to the room and start comparing breasts. I think it was just a way to show boobs in the movie, because I've never, ever in my life heard about just girls going, oh, you want to see how big my boobs are? Oh, no, they're not as big as mine, or, well, mine are the smallest. I don't think that's ever happened. And if it has, please let me know about it, so then that way I can say this movie is as close to real life as it is. Kind of a cheesy story, cheap special effects, but what I like about it is that you have a schoolgirl killing zombies with a katana, and that's always cool to watch. Next we have Return of the Living Dead. Now, this is not with the Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Living Dead. This is totally a new series called Return of the Living Dead. This is actually a really good movie. It's totally 80s. It takes the zombie genre into a new direction. Before, zombies were just mindless creatures going around, just eating people, and not talking. This one, the zombies can talk. They can also come back from the dead. Like as in, they're not exactly, you don't have to get bent to become a zombie. They actually raise up from the dead and start killing people. Also, not only do you shoot them in the head, they don't die right away. Their body parts are still living and still killing. So this is a cool movie to have if you're a big zombie fan, if you're a big 80s horror film fan. It's really great. Totally 80s though. That's all I have to say about that one. Next we have Cemetery Man. Now this movie is one of the creepiest, funniest, craziest movies I ever seen in a while. Stars Rupert Everett, and I saw this a long time ago, back in high school when it came on the Independent Film Channel. I never got the title of it, but then over the years, since I got the internet and stuff, I figured out what it was, and I picked this up, and it's a comedy, a very dark comedy. It's sort of like Evil Dead, where, it's comedy and horror mixed together. And I think it's an Italian film, so expect a little bit of a not culture shock, but just a little bit of culture misunderstandings. Not that much, though. But it's a really good film. Special effects are pretty cool. And the story's hard to follow, but you want to see zombies getting killed. So definitely, that's a good one. Next we have Dawn of the Dead. Now this movie is awesome. This is the remake. This is the one that stars Vin Rames and I think Mekhi Phifer and a bunch of other actors that have been in horror movies, but you really don't know about them. If you guys don't know the story of this already, it's about a group of people trying to survive the zombie apocalypse, and they end up going into a mall, and they living comfortably until the zombies get in, and they have to start killing the zombies and start trying to find a way out. This is a good movie. It's really cool. Cool special effects, a lot of blood, a lot of gore. They even have a zombie baby. So definitely pick this one up. Put this in your collection. But you know what? I think if you're going to pick this one up, you have to get all of them. And you have to get the original George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. And you have to get, the new Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, Dead, Who Knows Who's Head Dead, and all that other crazy dead stuff. So, it's a good movie. Next we have Dead or Alive. This was another movie that I saw on the Independent Film Channel, and I gotta admit, this movie's crazy. I mean, this was, of course, directed by Peter Jackson. And if you watch this movie and you watch Lord of the Rings, you go, what the hell? What happened? What happened to Peter Jackson's balls? You think they would grow bigger over time, but it looks like they shrunk. This is one of his more gorier films. In fact, I heard that when this released, I think in New Zealand or in London, I don't know which one, but they actually hand out barf bags, so if people are watching the movie and got sick, they can actually throw up. I think if you're going to throw up in a theater, that's even worse, because you're going to throw up with a bunch of people around you. But this movie is incredibly gory. The story is everywhere. The thing is about this little deformed rat that bites a woman, and she starts dying, and she starts turning people to zombies, and it's out of control. The last couple of scenes of the movie, it must be the goriest, bloodiest stuff you've ever seen. It's also a dark comedy. Like I said, it would fit in with Evil Dead and Cemetery Man, and definitely have to pick that one up. Oh, in case you haven't noticed, that's the only Blu-ray that's out of this bunch. I'm not a big Blu-ray collector yet. Next we have Record. Now, you guys might actually know this movie as Quarantine, but this is the original Spanish version that was made in Spain called Record. It's the exact same movie if you've seen Quarantine already. If you haven't seen it, it's shot in a first-person view. They do a really good job of it. There's really no difference between Quarantine and this movie. It's the exact same movie, just different actors. But this one's pretty cool. If you don't like subtitles, then pick up Quarantine. But if you like subtitles and you want to feel a little bit artistic and cultured, go ahead and pick up Record. This does have 2 sequels, Record 2 and Record 3, which I have not yet seen yet. But I really do want to pick them up because I've seen the previews. And I believe Record 2 is a direct sequel to this one. And I don't know about Record 3. It has something to do with a bride and a chainsaw. So that's always cool. But yeah, definitely pick up this movie. I suggest out of all these movies, and besides the last one, pick up this one though. This should probably be first on your list. Finally, we have Zombie. Now, this is a confusing movie. Not that the movie's confusing, but where it falls under is confusing. I believe George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead was sent to Italy, and it was retitled Zombie. So what happened is that they wanted to make a sequel. The Italians wanted to make a sequel to that movie, and they called it Zombie 2. Well, you couldn't call it Zombie 2 over here because we didn't know it was a sequel to George A. Romero's movie. So they took out the 2 and ended up calling it Zombie. Now this is really confusing because you have Zombie, but then in the United States there's Zombie 3, Zombie 4, and Zombie 5. And if you do find Zombie 2, it's the same movie as this one. And that's what happened to me. I wanted this movie, and so I got it. And then someone else bought me Zombie 2, and I said, cool. I said, now I have Zombie and Zombie 2. Well, when I played Zombie 2, it was the exact same movie as this one. I was really confused, and it wasn't until years later, this was like back in high school, and it wasn't until years later that I discovered that, that, of course, it's the same movie, just different titles. So, this is a really good movie. It's an Italian film, and, this ship crashes in the New York coast, and zombies start coming out, so then these group of doctors have to go try to find out where the zombie come from, and they actually discover that the zombies keep coming from this island. And there's this one doctor there already working on it, but it's more of a voodoo curse that's bringing the zombies to life. It's not, anything that's like toxic waste or atomic chemicals or anything like that. This has 2 scenes that are very popular. And I'll just tell you about them because they're really cool. One scene is the slow scene where a girl's head is being pulled to a large wooden spike, and the spike goes slowly into her eye. And it's a beautiful, gory scene. Another scene, though, that I really like about this is that while they're scuba diving, they find a zombie, and the zombie starts chasing them. And then they're getting scared because a shark comes out of nowhere. Well, this zombie has some pretty big balls on him because he bites the shark. Now, I wish they would have continued the story. That would have been cool. Imagine a zombie shark. It'd be like Jaws, but undead, going around biting sea animals, and then they're turning all into zombies. I thought that would have been really cool, but they just show this zombie in the water bite a shark, and that's awesome. Definitely, this is for people who love horror movies, people who collect classic horror movies, people who collect the grindhouse horror movies. This movie is awesome right here. But still, I would pick up Record before this one. Pick up Record first, then pick up this one. And compare the 2 if you like. Well, there you have it. Those are my zombie movies. Honestly, to be truthful, I only have like maybe 5 zombie movies at the most. And that's really strange because I'm a big zombie fan. I do like zombies, but not as much as werewolves. And that's even stranger because I don't have that many werewolf movies either. But anyways, I'm just saying, pick up these movies since The Walking Dead's not going to be on for a while. You can get your zombie fix with these movies right here. But there's tons of other great zombie movies out there that I didn't even put on this list. And go ahead, if someone else wants to make a list and put them in the comments below, be my guest. If there's a zombie movie that I never even heard of before, please put that on there too. I'm familiar with most of the generic zombie movies, but I know there's some foreign zombie movies that I had never seen of before. So this is me, Robert Ochoa, and of course, little Maggie saying goodbye, and we'll hope to see you guys soon. Alright? Bye.